Hey everybody, DJMK here, and welcome to the final live stream of Camp NaNoWriMo. It's pretty much official, I think. I pretty much lost. I have come super short of my goal. So in the last, I was supposed to stream yesterday, but then just a lot of things were just happening, and well, I have a lot of excuses, but long story short, just things were just not working. I got too distracted by life, and overall, I think the exhaustion and all of the absence of ideas just started just catching up with me. So that and like just some like there was a little bit of doubts and self confidence and stuff. But I feel like out of all the nanos I've done, this is the best one that I've done to date. So as you can see, I've done 14,776 words, which is much more compared to the last time that I did this well nano was back in 2015, 2016, and that's when I got about 10,000 words. So, so this is basically the best nano I've done to date. And CampNaNo, usually people tend to lose that anyway, but I feel like this gives me a little bit more of an idea of what to expect during nano should I decide to take a leap and go for it. Which I highly doubt I will, considering how many days I missed. I mean, look at that. I missed like 6 days of writing after that one sprint where I tried to catch up over the hump. Um, but it's given me a little more of an idea of how my energy levels are, and also considering this is a very, very, very extreme situation. Of course, it's not going to be very easy for me um, to focus. So I've got a little bit of surprise for you that was originally supposed to come like over 2 weeks ago, but it just came today. So I will show you at the end of this video the reason why ultimately I got delayed in the past few days and a little bit for the past few weeks. So get a little bit excited. So I won't get the 50% off Scrivener, but I still got 20% that's coming in. So that's not a bad deal still. Um, I've always wanted to try out Scrivener, so not a bad thing. I've also kind of found another writing method for my story that I feel like works a lot better in terms of my productivity just to get stuff down. So I'm feeling much better than I was before in the beginning of the process where I was just trying to be like all novelesque and my mind was just not going there. So I decided to go like kind of a mix of movie commentary and screenplay ish writing style, and that seemed to work a lot better for just trying to get the stuff down, and then I'll just make it much prettier in post. So so that already is giving me a good sign. I mean, granted, at the rate that I'm going, it's going to be done like in the next 2 weeks. But hey, I feel pretty good with this goal. And also, by the way, you will be happy to know that I actually have a title for this story. It took me the entire month to figure it out, but I finally have it. It's probably going to be a working title, but I like the sound of it. It's called Noble Recurve. Noble because, well, the protagonist wakes up and finds that she's a noble woman, and recurve because her specialty weapon is the recurve bow. So noble recurve. There are a few other titles that I bounced around in my head, but that was the one I fell in love with, and and I kind of wanted to like call it unofficially, like be a part of a series. Let me see like what title I kind of gave it. So I kind of gave it like unofficially, kind of like the time travel paramour series, because a lot of the protagonists that I kind of came up with um, in the past few years, they have been time travelers from the present going back to the past and falling in love with somebody there, and then experiencing some of the ramifications in the present, if that makes any sense. So yeah, kind of playing around with like alternate history slash butterfly effect resistant history, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I've been a fan of historical fiction for a while. I know partially the reason why I haven't been doing it for a while is because like I just don't have like unlike when I was like in my teens, early 20s, I don't exactly have the energy to go and just deep dive into all of that stuff to the point of obsession and then write the stuff down. But on the other hand, though, I'm just having a lot of fun just escaping just anywhere but here. So that's the one benefit I have. So I highly doubt I'm gonna get to like 5K today. So today we're just gonna do as much as we can. It's gonna be the final sprint for everybody. For those who've already won, congratulations. You've set your goal and you did it right and you're ready to go. And for those who are like myself who just fell short or didn't really get going until much later or something like that, give yourself still a pat on the back. Give yourself a reward. I mean, if you got some stuff down on the page, that's a win. If you have a story that you feel super proud that you finally got the rhythm to write down, that's a win in my book. If in this case for me, I got a name for a story and it's a story that I can imagine writing after this thing is done. That's a win in my book because before I can easily say that I just writing was pain. I know for some people it isn't, but for me it was pain. Like I associated writing with pain instead of writing with fun. And I think it's also because I've been for so many years through academic deadlines that I never really looked at my writing as a source of joy. I did look at like the most writing that I kind of found cathartic for me was journals, like the journals and diaries that I would write in all the time. But that wasn't really a habit in and of itself. So I kind of felt like personally that didn't really count, even though that totally does count. Journaling is a good cathartic method of venting um, after a long day, if you feel like just nothing just went right or anything, it's a great way of um, expressing yourself when maybe academic writing just wouldn't work, or you just have no rules. You just write whatever you want. Um, but but yeah, I found that journaling has been very valuable. That's how I've been able to like to write down a lot of the ideas that I've been having recently, and yeah, just now I'm starting to get a little bit more of the fun side of writing. And that's something that I haven't felt in a while. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like writing was supposed to be work, 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 busy, 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 left, right, you're not here to have fun. I just quoted the dubbed version of Castle in the Sky, but it's too accurate here. Um but yeah, I thought like writing was supposed to work. I mean, in some ways it is work. It's work from taking stuff that you've only put in your brain down to a piece of paper. Um, hey, Quirkin, it's been a while too. Quirkin from Twitch. Um, I have been tuning into Zach's streams, like Gamer Zach. If you've not checked out any of his streams, definitely do so. He does it Monday to Thursday. I heard he was going to change his schedule at some point, but I don't know. But yeah, so we're doing a write-in, one last write-in from Camp NaNoWriMo. So whatever medium strikes your fancy, go ahead and do so. Have some fun. Um, I think the biggest thing that I've learned, especially through this period, is find an aspect that you want to write for that day. Like find something that gets you absolutely excited to like go to your document every day and do that. Have little happy reminders that this story is worth writing. Even if it's not going to see the light of day, just get something down anyway. Like have some fun because you never know. You really never know. Like Jor- like Jordan Peele, for example. Jordan Peele, for example. I think he worked on the script for Get Out for 8 to 10 years, I think. So that means it was basically during a time that during that time he also made Keanu. He also was working on Key and Peele at the time, and he was producing many other projects before finally, um, before finally doing the project that he always wanted to do, which was Get Out, and that resulted in him getting an Oscar. So and there were times, I mean, he has said this in a lot of his speeches, that there were times that he thought that project wouldn't lift off the ground, that the project was not even going to make it to film. But he did it, and look at him now. He did Us. Um, they're currently producing a second season of The Twilight Zone that he directed and produced. He's producing a Candyman sequel with a female director. That is impressive. Um, yeah, yeah. Jordan Peele's not directing the new Candyman. It's actually a female director. I'm sad to say that I forgot her name because because she's new. So that's why I'm not exactly. Um, let me see if I can get her name. Hold on one sec. Um, so her name is Nia DaCosta. There we go. Her name is Nia DaCosta. Originally supposed to be released in the summer around June 12th, but because of the pandemic, obviously, it got pushed forward to September. And it stars Yayam Abdul-Mateen II and Teyonah Parris. And it's supposed to be a sequel to the original back in the 90s, where it returns to the very neighborhood that the original um, the original character haunted. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, wow, 4 a.m. Wow, yeah, that's pretty early for you, Corkin. Wow. Um, don't burn yourself out, especially now. Definitely take it easy. Have some fun while you have it. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of a write-in. So get out your favorite mediums. There's gonna be no challenge today. It's just to get down as many words as possible. We're gonna do maybe like we'll start with like the longest stretch just to get things out of the way and give you time to warm up. If you have any favorite playlists as well, um, definitely pull them out. It's a lot of fun. I've got a few recommendations from here. I think I posted my Millennium Grooves playlist on here. If I didn't, I will do that now because it's pretty nice. For those who are more, for those who are who have a little bit of a different sound, you can feel free to like follow my profile, DJ MK for life. Um, the yeah, so it's a little bit peppy. So hope you enjoy that. But yeah, of course, if you like a little bit of a different of a sound, you can like press the username. My username is DJMK for life. For Twitter, it's number 4, but um, in Spotify, I actually spelled out the 4, which honestly I don't know why I did that, but I just did that. But yeah, so we're gonna start out. We're gonna do a 30-minute sprint. Well, sprint. It's not really that fast, but yeah, do 30 minutes. Get yourself relaxed and settled down and writing. And I need to plug in. I have like 12%. It's the last day of CampNaNo when. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That didn't take too long. And yes, this is the Kingdom Hearts 3 hoodie from oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Whew. I am tired. I don't know about you guys, but I've been tiring a lot more easily. Hey, beer is good. Beer is an awesome idea. That's an awesome idea. Like I had wine for the past couple streams. I should definitely do that at some point. But yeah. But yeah, get yourself your favorite beverage too. So, whatever writing medium you've got, notebook, laptop, pen and paper, whatever those specialized keyboards are. Probably there's like those keyboards where you just see like words, like those how looks like one of those calculators from the 90s. One of those, or typewriters. I actually have a typewriter upstairs, believe it or not. Um, whatever you've got, grab some of that and just make it fun for yourself. Because it's writing times for you. Embrace it. That's the other thing I've learned is just embrace the time that you have. So yeah, this is the Kingdom Hearts 3 hoodie. I still haven't played the DLC Remind, mainly because I'm saving up for the PS5. I was too late to jump on in the PS4 train, and so eventually, well, my coworkers were playing the game, so eventually I caved and I played the third game, and honestly, I was really disappointed by the lack of depth in a lot of the worlds they had. The world roster was a lot smaller compared to the previous games. I feel like the scale of how you could wander through them was huge, but in terms of the actual number of worlds and even the depth of storytelling, it just didn't feel like a proper conclusion. But I admit though, the final conflicts when they did happen, they felt like final conflicts. They felt like this is it. This is the final battle. You gotta take care of Xehanort now, or it's never going to happen. Like that stuff. I felt like they got it right. It was just everything else surrounding it. It needed more time, and this is the time that they could have gone unabashedly unashamed of how many hours of content they could put into one game. Like this is the time they actually just needed to put everything they had in one game. And the original game just didn't do it for me. It just really didn't. It really didn't. So I'm hoping Remind improves it a little bit. I heard Remind improved the game significantly, so I'm hoping to play it by the end of this year. The PS5, barring any the PS5 is still in schedule, still on the holiday 2020 schedule unless Microsoft changes the release date. They're pretty much set for holiday 2020. So I'm saving up for that. And in the meantime, I've been buying as many of the titles that I want to play on it as possible. Because they did confirm that it was going to be backwards compatible with PS4 games. They didn't say about the PS3 onwards, but I heard they were going to be available to the PSN anyway. And unlike the Xbox Series X, they were going to keep the disc drive, which is actually a good thing because a lot of times I tend to get the physical copy. I don't really download my games that much because I don't want my games to go the way of PT, where they almost just like they just delete it off the store and that's it. You basically what you have on your console is what you have on your console. So, um, so yeah, like in case it goes the way of the PT or they have some ridiculous Amazon Kindle like regulations, I just like to have the physical copy just in case. So that way, I don't feel like I'm losing the game. Like I have the game right there. So yeah. Clearly, I need to play more games on here at some point. So, tomorrow I'm going to do more Cinderella Phenomenon. Don't know if it's going to be in the evening or in the afternoon, but I'm going to be on here. So, I've missed playing games on here so much. So, because Nano kind of took all the energy that I would have put towards gaming into writing instead, which is not a bad thing because I've been ignoring my writing for a long time, but I just miss being able to actually interact with you all and play some games and have some fun. So, not that this is fun. This is fun too. I just missed the gaming part too. So, yeah, same thing with the PS5. It looks like it might be around 500 for what the averages seem to be looking towards, but they so far haven't released a price tag. But a lot of the tech magazines seem to be leaning towards like $499. So I'm saving about like 500 or 600 for the console itself. And obviously the DualShock has now become DualSense, which it actually doesn't look too bad. I don't mind it. I'm more concerned about the design of the console itself. Because the controller looks really nice. I just hope the console matches that feeling. Just my thought here. So, anyway, now that I feel like everybody is all settled and I feel like I've gotten my nerdiness out of my system a little bit, well, false alarm, my nerdiness is never out of my system whatsoever. See the Sailor Moon Eternal recording I did on Mixler just a few hours ago, and my debate about what things they're going to put in to the actual series and what films they're going to come out with. Yeah, see that I just did a few moments earlier when the Wi-Fi was knocked out. So thankfully the Wi-Fi's back. So, but anyway, let us go and get on with this thing. And feel free to comment or chat down below. I will still see the chat on the side. In the meantime, I will get this timer going. So we're going to start our first sprint, hoping to get to an hour today, hour of running today. So we're going to start with our first part of our sprint in 3, 2, 1, starto. Okay, camera froze, but I sound okay. All right, I'll keep an eye out. Just let me know if it freezes again, and I will see if turning it back off and then turning it back on will make a difference. But yeah, thanks for the heads up. So, in case you're wondering what my story is about, it's a Regency era romance. So it's about like this 30-something year old woman, who after just having a rough time in life, um, in this case, she's trying to get into grad school, but she got a rejection letter. Um, well, she's in like the middle of a documentary marathon. Um, Lightning strikes her house, and she gets teleported to the Regency era. And she wakes up and she finds that she's a noble in the Regency era. So she kind of like so how do I explain this? So the time travel rule that I kind of created is basically you go back in time and in essence you turn into the Regency era, like the self you would be if you were in that time period. So my character, who is just an average, all right, give that a shot, Clarkin. I don't, maybe it could be from my end. Probably it's pretty good. It's on my end. But let me see, where was I? Oh yes. So like for example, hey, nice, it worked. Okay. So where was I for my story? Oh yeah. So for example, my character, who would just be like an average 30 something trying to figure out her career, would be in the Regency era, a noblewoman who's looking for a husband, essentially. So she would have all of the knowledge of her present day self, but she wouldn't really have like how she is in a Regency era self. She basically would have to like kind of make up on her own. So I guess like a metaphor that I could probably use here, it's like a mix between errata and like Errata the Legend and Outlander, if I had to put a metaphor on this. And the writing style that I was originally initially trying to go for was kind of like a mix between the Princess Diaries and Outlander, mixed with like the Magic Treehouse. But obviously, I'm still trying to figure out my voice. So trying to write in a more comedic tone when I wasn't exactly naturally inclined towards that was very difficult. So I decided, like, you know what? I'm just going to explain, like, bluntly what's happening, like an academic paper, and whatever emotion that I feel like I could produce, whatever naturally jumps out in the drafting process, that's what I'll bring in. Or I'll bring it up in post. Otherwise, I'm not going to force myself in that direction. If it happens to pull in that direction, it'll happen. So I'm just like more like putting in the building blocks for me to naturally get to that voice at that point. But right now, it's just conceptually I'm there, but voice wise I'm not there yet. So if that makes any sense. But yeah, I even had to make up my own time travel rule just to get it correct, just right for me to feel okay with the way the logic went. And it took me maybe the first week of Nano to finally pin that down. Like I even have an entire outline of what time travel rules I was thinking of based on all the sci-fi and fantasy that I read, and then based on that, which aspects of it would I borrow to make the story work? So Yeah, it was a lot. Like the initial part was a lot of work. I mean, I didn't realize like how much work it actually was. So so yeah, that's where I'm currently at. So like I mentioned earlier, she basically is embodying the person that she would be if she lived in the Regency era. So her character kind of basically already had a life at some point. It's not like she had like a swap per se, like an errata, but she certainly has like an experience, a difference in experience compared to her present day self. 444 total viewers? Whoa! Okay, wow. Welcome, guys. I didn't think there were so many people watching. I mean, this is like just for CampNaNo, and I didn't think so many people actually watched or participated in CampNaNo. So thank you so much already for all that support, whatever that is. Oh, views in total. Okay. Well, hey, that's still something. I crossed 100 140 videos on my YouTube channel. So that's kind of huge. Majority of them were live streams, but it's still a lot of videos um, a lot of videos that I've done. So it's kind of hard to believe that I've done that many in the past couple years. Yeah. So I kind of made like a rule, like it's like a couple of time traveling rules. So so I basically kind of made it like a rata where it's like basically like it's like a swap of lives, but then I also kind of made it a little bit, um, kind of like talk like those unique time travel police kind of things where unless like you're open, if you open up yourself to say that you're from the future or you do something that's obviously an anachronism that basically breaks the time travel bubble or whatever cloak of invisibility those superheroes have whenever they're in disguise, like that kind of thing, like when you can't recognize who it is per se, even though it's obvious who it is, like Superman or Sailor Moon, more obvious example. Um, like behavior basically breaks the veil. Behavior or intention breaks the veil. But of course, that rule could go right out the window as I get further and further into the story. But that's the one consequence that I have so far in terms of my story. So it's still very much in its infancy right now. I don't know if it's gonna be like just like a novella or it might go like full fledged 50K novel. Right now I have a goal for like 20K, but hey, this was fun to talk about already. So I already have the love interest already set. I have a villain already set in the story too. I just haven't put her passage in yet, but I'm excited. So talking about the story actually makes me excited to write. So I spent like 10 minutes explaining what my premise is, but I hope that was fun for you. That was fun for me. So anyway, I'm gonna get stuff down. Feel free to chat below, of course. I'm just gonna try and get as much writing as possible, like in the next 20 minutes. Yeah, I know. Not exactly entertaining to watch somebody type all the time, but on the other hand, though, if you pretend that you're with them or like you participate along with it, it actually makes it more fun, and then you can just talk about it afterwards. I mean, why else is AuthorTube a huge hit? Like, why is AuthorTube such a popular thing? Well, besides the vlogging, of course, and the fun conversations you could have with a camera. which it does feel one-sided at first until you realize that people are actually watching it or people are interacting with you on chat. Yeah, just some interesting things to think about. I'm gonna go ahead and play some music now. Okay, I gotta restart my Spotify. My Spotify is not being nice. Oh, I'm glad you're doing okay, Corkin. Yeah, I'm doing okay too. I'm trying my best as well. Um, like as you can see, I've been right. I've been writing. It's all right. I think my headphones are just on the fritz, really, in terms of my sound. So I need to like dig through my supplies and get my microphone. It's all right. Yeah, it's been a little bit. My mic on my headphones has just been a little testy right now. Um, I mean, just sound in general has just been a big struggle, as is. So, oh, neighbors, of course it was. Yeah, I know. And again, it was mostly on my end. I used to play loud music in my speakers, but we have really good speakers over here, so I can't help it. But yeah, I feel that. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna restart my Spotify because Spotify for some reason was not playing any of my tracks. It was weird. It was saying like, "Cannot play this track. Cannot play this track." It's like, why? Why? I'm wearing headphones. I'm doing my own thing. You've never done that before, so why are you doing it now? So I've been watching a lot of shows lately, and I'm that's I was like, I guess it's kind of the other thing that I've been um, Space the Final Frontier or Desktop. Yeah. Speaking of Final Frontier, I I am still emotional from the Picard finale. Just wow. I know there's a season two coming up, but man, the way they finished off that series, I needed tissues afterwards. Like that's how good it got. So I've also been watching a lot of TV shows lately. One I've been watching is Descendants of a Bookworm. I still need to watch season two of it, but I really liked it. I really liked season one and the side episodes, which unfortunately English dubs don't do side episodes that often, or they just never do it. Which is a shame because it actually gives more character development to the side characters. Um, so that's kind of a thing. So Ascendance of a Bookworm, it's one show they've been doing. Doctor Stone's another one. It's basically like anime MacGyver because they have this disclaimer they put in the beginning of every episode that says, uh, "Make sure you don't make sure that you don't do this at home. Unless we say that it's safe to do at home. Like, just don't do it. But yeah, yeah, some of that. And then, what else? I also watched this um, this documentary series called Dirty Money, which I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but I did. I really did. Oh, such a discovery. I still need to finish season one, not gonna lie. Because I put it off for so long because of work. And my dad was the one that had the CBS All Access account. So that was that. And then Twilight Zone. I just repeated the season one of Twilight Zone because season two is coming out. I don't know when, but season two is being done right now. And then I discovered a series on Hulu which I never knew existed. It didn't get promoted enough, and it's called Dimension 404. And Mark Hamill kind of plays like the Rod Serling of the show, and I was like, wow, why didn't I know the show earlier? Because it's actually real. It's actually really really interesting. I really liked it. If you're curious about that, it's on Hulu. Um, Speaking of Hulu, I also started watching Little Fires Everywhere, and what was the other show? Mrs. America. Mrs. America. I'm really enjoying it right now. Mrs. America is basically about like the 60s and 70s when like the ERA was trying to be ratified in the U.S. For those who don't know, the ERA has been officially ratified in the United States. It's just like it passed without anybody knowing. That's the that's the insane part. It passed, and then there was no news about it. Like nobody talked about it. It passed just earlier this year, and nobody knew. And I think Mrs. America is kind of like trying to give us attention towards that. Oh, that's fair, Corkin. That's really fair. Yeah, go do your thing. I'll be here. But yeah, so yeah, Mrs. America was really good. Um, I'm still I'm still floored by how much history it covered in the 60s and 70s. It just goes to show like how undereducated we are in terms of that period of history because the 60s and 70s really had a huge influence on how people are in the present day, especially in America. Like, it's a huge deal, and they just don't educate us enough about it. I think because they assume because our parents lived through it, that they would just teach us about it automatically, and history classes in schools wouldn't have to bother. But in actuality, it's one thing to live through it, and another thing to observe the effects. Case in point, I was born in the 90s. I don't expect to be an expert of the 90s. I mean, maybe an expert of the 90s media, but I don't expect myself to be the expert of the 90s itself. If that makes any sense. Because I lived through it. But yeah, let me get some writing down. All right, welcome back, Lurkin. Getting a few more words down here. We've got about 8 minutes. Okay, let's see how much I can do here. Oh, the prince you're a little skeptic about. How did that turn out? That was about Cinderella phenomenon, right? Hmm. Yeah. So, yes. Okay. I don't know how much you got a chance to catch up with in terms of Cinderella phenomenon, but now I'm on Waltz's route, which is basically the Peter Pan curse. Um, you're talking about Quad, aka Karma. So Quad, so Karma, it turns out had the, um, I thought initially it was the Red Riding Hood curse, but it turns out it was the Beauty and the Beast curse. So essentially, he basically personified two things at once. Um, Beauty because of his handsome good looks, and the beast part. So the consequence was that if so, basically the consequence was that in order to be able to break the curse, Karma had to be loved in both his beauty and his beast form. So the beauty part was very easy because good looks, very attractive, very magnetic. Um, But then after a certain point, if Karma gets feelings for the other person, then eventually the beast part takes over. And so that's where the true test happens. So if Lucette, the main character, still loves Karma even as he is a beast, then the curse is broken. Like, like that phrase, nobody can ever love a beast except if it's a symbol of true love. In that case, it's more literal. It's like it's not really like the death knell of the rose per se. That's not a thing in this version, but certainly loving somebody at their ugliest was a big factor here. And the first time I played the ending, I got the bad ending. Lucette just assumed it was just a creature, and then didn't realize until Karma's dying moments that was actually him. Um, I forget what difference I made in that route, um, but eventually she does figure it out and does express her love for him. But as a result, from that ending, Parfait sacrifices herself and basically destroys the Lucis and the Tenebrarum, basically destroying any existence of magic in the world, and in essence, basically eliminating the fairy tale curse, but basically any resemblance of magic in the world. Also, Delora gets killed off by Mithros as well. So yeah, I think out of all, out of all of them, like out of all the endings, Karma's ending had the most death in it. Like that's for sure. Like that one had the most death. Like so many characters were killed off. It was like, oh my gosh, like how how did anybody survive this is incredible. Yeah, in case you want to watch the genuine reaction, um, I think my Twitch replay should still have the karma route. If it doesn't, you can check my YouTube channel. My my YouTube channel still has it. Um, right now I'm in um, like I said earlier, I'm on Waltz's route. He's the Peter Pan curse, and his is the hardest one I've ever played through. But it's also emotionally satisfying. It's super emotionally satisfying. I'm not gonna spoil too much in case you haven't watched it, but definitely check it out because it's really interesting. Probably it's pretty good. It's probably not. It's probably not in the archive still, but again, I also do it on YouTube as well. You can check it out there too. Um, but yeah, so far, Waltz's route is the most fun. I could see why they made his last because his route has the most consequences in terms of Lucette's story in particular. It's the most direct. So Rod, I feel like I love how there's like a spectrum in terms of Cinderella phenomenon. Rod and Waltz are the closest in terms of proximity. They're the closest in terms of interactions with Lucette. Rod as a stepbrother, and Waltz as a as let's say a confidant, as a confidant. Then there was also as you get close, if you get trying to go look for proximity to Lucette's backstory, then the next one would be Fritz as a royal bodyguard. His was the Red Riding Hood curse. I remember now, because he basically personifies like the innocence of Red Riding Hood, but then there's a secret wolf self, Varg, that he personifies at night. And it turns out that his dad and Mithros were the one that actually gave him the curse to make him more efficient in his guard duties. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, eventually he does figure it out, because he's able to walk into the March-In, but he doesn't think he's cursed. And then that's when he figures it out. The fact that he was able to walk into the March-In and see see it for what it actually is. So yeah, like Fritz's route is pretty fascinating too, and yeah. So I think, and then there was whatchamacallit, and then for the last two, it was Karma and Chevalier, aka Rumple, who have the least direct connection to um, Lucette, but they kind of let her explore different aspects of herself. Chevalier with more of the charitable giving aspects, and Karma with more of the courageous slash fighting aspects of herself. And my timer just went off. I did not get much writing done, but that's okay. But yeah, so the middle routes are more in terms of like exploring different aspects of Lucette, and then the other three were more so in terms of personal personal connections. There we go. That was the word. How much did I even get down anyway? That half an hour that I ended up spending talking, but I don't mind it though. 275, 132, 222, and then 1322. And then I managed to write 1451, 129 words. I mean, I had a lot of fun talking though. That was kind of nice. 129. I had fun. I'm getting to the good part. I was on a laptop, and I started around. Okay. 9:59. Okay. That's not bad. Okay. I missed it too, Clarkin. I missed you too. I miss talking with you too. I still have the Discord server too. I still get to get more people on it, but I'm trying. I put the link in the description of my YouTube channel as well. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to interacting on there more. I'm already going on there a lot more than I usually do. Um, Not so much on YouTube channels, but certainly in terms of just in general, just talking to my friends and some of my family members too, who have Discord. So, yeah. Yeah, Cinderella Phenomenon is really well written. I think it's also the consequence of using Ren'Py. Like, the variation of the endings can't really be. The variation of the ending is not as big as it could be, but it's still very interesting. Um, yeah, I also managed to attach Restream on it, so I can now actually notify people when I'm actually streaming as a result, which is great. So that's the one positive thing that I recently discovered, that Restream has that feature now. You can actually notify people when I'm streaming, which is great because I'm really tired of like copying and pasting the link every time. So that saved me so much time and energy right there. And then what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Cinderella Phenomenon is getting a sequel called Evermore. It's a fan disc. By fan disc it means like, well, more so like the original studio Daisuke is doing a continuation of the original story. So that's really exciting. And they're doing a lot more stuff in there. Like I saw that they're actually animating the sprites, which that's that's a lot of work in and of itself. The fact that they're animating the sprites, they're doing a lot of their own work. That's just just incredible. They're still partway through the development, and also I think two of the members of the team are in grad school as well. I'm in grad school too, though. Right now, it's been a bit of a huge slowdown because of all the things that have been going on. But yeah, um, they're still in development, though. I think a good chunk of the routes are done. So probably by the end of this year, we probably would be able to get the game. So I'm looking forward to playing it the first chance I get. I'm keeping an eye out on any updates that they come up with. But in the meantime, I'm going through this challenge of trying to do the ending without using the prompts, and it's not easy. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. Um, Again, I think because of the limits of Ren'Py, you can't deviate too much from the original. Otherwise, um, you can get the bad ending so easily. And I found out just messing up one. Like I think there was one walkthrough that I did. I messed up just one step, and it was enough to give me the bad ending. So you can't mess up anywhere. You have to be absolutely perfect in your run, which is not easy to do, but I try. I also played another one that was really fun, The Blind Griffin. It's another 1920s themed visual novel. I'm gonna have to like actually redo one other 1920s themed visual novel called Your Dry Delight. That was really fun. Really different, but also really fun. And that was like one of the few that actually has an OT3 ending, which is not very common in visual novels in particular. Um, I mean, the only other OT3 ending that I have that I could think of, it's a bad ending though, and also it's technically an OT4 if you count the one other personality. But yeah, like um, it's very rare that you see like a multiple pairing ending. Oh yeah. Also, Kusoge has an OT3 or OT infinite ending in the game itself. I just haven't been able to get to it, but I will maybe at some point. But yeah, Kusoge, that game is like 5 or 6 years old at this point, but it's still some of the comedy still kind of holds up. And then just The astounding part of like how many endings they managed to pack into that game is amazing. Like I would not mind if the developer made a sequel to it. But yeah, speaking of sequels, I feel like if Kingdom Hearts 3 did not have the issue of trying to step around Frozen 2, and especially in particular a lot of Disney's restrictions, I think 3 like I think Arendelle would have worked a lot better. But I think it would have especially worked a lot better if it was if the plot around revolved around Frozen 2 rather than Frozen 1, because Frozen 2 had a lot more that they could work with, especially with um, the fact that that plot revolves around the elementals, and Kingdom Hearts has a lot of elemental magic. So if they decide to like continue with Disney worlds in the future, with more Disney worlds in the future, especially the more obscure ones like Treasure Planet or Atlantis: The Lost Empire, that would be awesome. Especially with the way that like the tone that it's taking on now. If they could go for like the more obscure Disney worlds, or even like the more unexpected ones, like The Emperor's New Groove, because oh my god, the comedy in that movie is such a masterpiece. It surprisingly still holds up. But yeah, if you've not seen The Emperor's New Groove, go watch it. It's great. Um, the original concept of Empire of the Sun, it's great. It was really good too, but it was very ambitious. It was very ambitious. It was pretty obvious like why they wouldn't be able to pull it off, and it was clear that Sting and Eartha Kitt in particular were very proud of the songs they put into Empire of the Sun, but its trade-off with the Emperor's New Groove, I think it was worth it, because that was at a time when like people were underestimating the effectiveness of comedy. Like I could still quote the entire movie. Like that's how good it is. And I still have the original VHS in my collection as well. So stuff like Atlantis, Treasure Planet, maybe Lilo and Stitch. Definitely the former two with Treasure Planet and Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Lilo and Stitch, I think Sora would be totally up in his element in there because he grew up on an island. Of course, he would be right at home in Hawaii. Though I think it would also be kind of interesting for him um, to see like Lilo, you know, being a little different because his island is not so touristy per se compared to Hawaii. So it'll be kind of interesting to see like that contrast between Lilo and Sora. And then there's also Stitch for the fact that like Stitch has been around before in the Kingdom Hearts series, albeit in space, but the Kiva report will certainly remind him of Terra. Because Terra was up there in space. It's like, wait, there's another way, you guys? Really? Yeah, that would be interesting. And also Jumbo Jakiba. Jumbo Chikiva would be more likely to like remember the Keyblade wielder, since he came across him like briefly. And was Gontu in Birth by Sleep? I don't remember. It's been a while since I played Birth by Sleep. It's been a while. But then again, it's also because my PS3 has the Yellow Light of Death right now, and I was going to ship it over right before the quarantine happened to get it fixed, but then I got no response from the shop that was supposed to do it, and I didn't realize until much later on that New York was one of the first cities that was hit by the quarantine. So the probability was pretty um, good that that the section of New York City that the store was in was probably the one that was blocked off for the National Guard. That's why I didn't get a response from them. So yeah, that I should have realized right away. So I haven't been able to play games properly, actually, since the quarantine happened. For me, it started in March. So I've been in my house for the past 48 days, 49 days. I've been going out occasionally. My state, it's a little bit more flexible, but you can only go out for shopping, for essentials, doctor's appointments, or walking around the parks. Any other purpose than that results in a $10,000 fine. So, and then now they recently passed an amendment to the state of emergency that you actually have to wear masks in stores. Otherwise, businesses would either have to turn you away or they will have to provide a mask out of their own pocket. So that's been the changes that have been happening lately. And then I bought a 3DS. It doesn't have a it doesn't have a so that's the thing with counting steps, you're way ahead with words. Oh man, yeah. So for me, I would use my DS as kind of like a tracker. I have a 3DS that I purchased on eBay. It doesn't have a graphics card though, and unfortunately, the kits that would provide a graphics card, they're sold out. So I can't put one in my 3DS. So I can't let's play it on the channel, which is frustrating. There's a lot of things I want to let's play on the channel, and I really can't because tech limitations. And the laptop now is getting to the point where I actually have to change it out because this thing only has 250 gigs. Most laptops nowadays, they have about a terabyte of solid state drive storage. So it's getting up there in age. If not in updates, then certainly in terms of space. Like I need more space because at this point I've been using so many thumb drives that I don't know how I'm able to keep everything straight, honestly. But yeah, also Kate Mulgrew, the person who plays Captain Janeway in Star Trek Voyager and Red in Orange is the New Black, she's doing this contest for where she picks like 6 random fans per week to have cocktails with her on Thursday, like every Thursday. And all you need to do is like send her a letter about how this period has kind of changed your perspective. And I've been agonizing over it for almost a month. I still haven't sent it in. And I need to, because I'm such a big fan. I'm such a big Trek fan, especially a fan of hers. I sent a birthday message for her yesterday because her birthday was yesterday. Her 65th birthday was yesterday. So I sent a message to her for that. But I haven't sent a message in terms of her contest. And I've been overthinking it. I just need to write from the heart. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime thing. Like, if I'm not able to meet her at a con, then certainly to be able to meet with her in my domain would be amazing. Oh gosh. And I think that's the biggest part about dreams I think what scares us more is not necessarily like the rejection or not being able to pull it off. I'm going to switch my settings because I feel like the talking is going to happen more often today. I think the biggest thing when it comes to fulfilling dreams is not necessarily the rejection or the falling short so much as what if it happens and it's much bigger than I expected and I'm not sure if I can handle it. Like, I think that's the part that scares people more. They just don't admit it or just not able to phrase it, is the part that what if this goes, it comes true and it's beyond me. It's beyond what I can expect or control, kind of thing. And I guess my only thing I can really recommend is just try to handle yourself accordingly. Do your best. Nobody's perfect. If you mess up, you mess up. So long as you believe in yourself, admit where you made mistakes, and you do your best every single day. you'll be fine. Like, you'll absolutely be fine. Like, Chris Evans, for example, he actually he actually rejected Captain America several times. He actually rejected the role several times because he had a feeling about how massive this role was going to be, and he wasn't sure if he was going to live up to it. And it was to the point where he actually asked his therapist what he should do, and he said to go for the role because sometimes the things that scare you will give you the most growth in your life. And I think that's the same attitude we all got to carry through this as well. Is you go like, and I think that's, you know what, that actually might be a good thing for my letter as well. Come to think of it, um, is there's just that like sometimes you gotta go for those things that you care about the most, but you also feel terrified the most to get wrong, because that's when you can go through the most growth. You can explore those frontiers, play around in the unknown. Because the unknown has so many possibilities. I know, it's scary because there's so many possibilities, but then it's awesome because there's so many possibilities. Um, oh yeah, biggest thing that I could think of. Best thing I could think of is that scene from Up with that album where it says, "Thanks for helping me like when Ellie's last message in the journal said, like in the book said, thanks for helping me live out my dream, now go out and build a new one." That's the goal of dream fulfillment. Dream fulfillment, it's not just like a lifelong thing that you got to go through. It's also something like something that you do so that way like it kind of is, or it's like basically a marker or a reminder that you can pull off these massive dreams and you can do more of them because you were capable of putting your mind to something that most would think is impossible or just isn't done. And you just proved yourself wrong, proved yourself right in saying, like, you know what, I deserve this, I want this for myself, and I'm gonna do it. And even if it come out exactly the way you want it to, or it goes out like far better than you want it to, it doesn't matter. Either way, you fulfilled it, and you've got room to try out more things. So I think that's the biggest message I can give to people is just take that leap of faith, especially if it scares you, because it changes things. And I think that's a mentality that I'm going to put in with this letter, regardless if I get picked or not. Regardless if I get picked or not, just the fact that I gave it a shot is a blessing in and of itself. And on that note, I feel like this stream, like some part of me is saying that the stream is really, it's going to be really good being done here. But before I go, let me show you the thing that I've been wanting to show you for the past 2 weeks, but I wasn't able to do it because it wasn't coming in. So, long story short, I got a bike. Yeah, I just assembled it today. And originally it was supposed to come in like earlier in the month. But then the company got so overloaded by orders that it basically shut down orders just 2 days after I ordered this thing. So they had to shut down for almost 2 weeks just so that way they can catch up with all the orders that they made. And they were like, oh my gosh, we gotta catch up with all these, so we're gonna shut down until May 1st. So tomorrow they're reopening. But yeah, for the past few days, I've been just basically trying to restructure everything to make sure they respect social distancing and trying to cater to all the orders that were made before the shutdown took place. And mine was the very last one that happened. So it was supposed to ship like earlier in the week, but like earlier in the month, but then things happened, and then um, and then I had to contact the company and say like, "Hey guys, I ordered before you shut down the company. Can you please send over my bike?" So, like, what do I do? And then I basically was going to give them until Cinco de Mayo, so May 5th, um, and I almost was going to go for like a hybrid in Costco, but then just when my dad was about to buy it, I look on my shipping label, and it said that it flew out from LA just the night before, and it arrived at like 2 a.m. in Kentucky, then drove up to Philly like around 8 a.m. and then around 6 p.m. it got here. So 18 days later it came over, and typically it would take about a month. But the fact that it took just a little over 2 weeks to get here is great. So this is like the bike that I've got here, and it's a cruiser, so not exactly the hybrid like the one on my left here, but it's pretty nice because it has 21 speeds. And then I installed some lights, and I got this bell here. Nice clean ring, and I love the color in particular. Like the color is like this nice teal blue, and I love the curve as well. It's very stylish, and it's got a back rack too, so I can like carry my laptop on the go and stuff, and just have a lot of fun riding around. So I just need to like adjust the brakes and the brakes and the derailleur. That's all. That's all I need to do for tomorrow because I'm really exhausted because that took a lot of work. I mean, it was only about I know it took me about like an hour to set up because it was 80% done already, but it was just that was the most focus I had put onto something for a while, and it wore me out, but good. But it was so much fun. Like, I'm excited to take it out tomorrow, give it a shot. And also, I'm not scared I'm a Viking or something. That is that's too perfect. That could be a t-shirt or something. And I also found out that maybe a small percentage of me is Viking. From my ancestry DNA test because some changes happened in the last few updates of my test that I may go over in a future stream or something because that was pretty interesting. Like that was fun for a while, like in the beginning of my channel that like that stuff happened. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna end it here actually. But I'm looking forward to actually playing a game tomorrow because I know it's been forever since I've done that, and it's about time that I kind of went back to the gaming roots. So for anybody who's done CampNaNo or NaNoWriMo in particular and has won, congratulations. For those who have not won like myself, just being able to put stuff on paper, that's a win. And if you have other priorities, of course, this is very unusual circumstance, so please take it easy on yourself, especially if you've been trying to put some goals. Like, whatever you can get done during this period, it's better than nothing, really. Like, whether it's getting a few extra hours of rest or catching up on the shows or those books that you've always wanted to read, but you haven't been able to until now. So, pat yourself on the back. Do it now. I will do it for you. Okay? There. But yeah, so here's my social media in case you guys are wondering what other stuff I've been doing. I've been trying to update my Twitter as much as I can. Obviously, I've been updating here as well. My Mixler show, I haven't gone I haven't gone like a full stream yet, but I have paid for the membership, so that means I could do something a little more elaborate soon. So I'm still thinking about like the topics and stuff, but hopefully I get to do something a little more fancier soon. I also have been writing on my blog lately, so that's been pretty fun. And I have a Fiverr shop as well. So I've been offering readings on there, and there's special discounts that I'm having on my Fiverr shop. So if you use the code EARTH, because Earth Day happened, there'll be extra runes and cards put in for clarification for like whatever reading you have. Coming soon, which I'm going to put on the site pretty soon, is nerdy card readings where you just pay what you want or pay what you can. You can also do that with like your coffee donation, the link I put down earlier. And barring any changes, I'm probably going to go to Odoon Day, which is June 14th, and of course the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, which is usually happens during the summer months, summer to fall months, and there are steep discounts to those who are in costume. So yeah, everybody, I hope you guys all had fun with this write-in. It was a lot shorter than all the other ones, but still, it was really great to talk nerdy to people. Just go out there. Well, not go out, but I mean, go have some fun. Go chillax. Do whatever you do whatever you need to do. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, and of course, may your heart be your guiding key. That is going to be my traditional saying at the end, it looks like. But till next stream, I will see you in the next one with more Cinderella Phenomenon. Take care, everybody. Bye.